Welcome to Magic Mondays for July, the last one in July, almost into August right now, you guys. So this is the last Magic Mondays of July 2024. My name is Jen Cushman. I am an empathic intuitive. I am a energy practitioner, and I also do neuro-linguistic programming, mental emotional release, hypnotherapy, art therapy, all kinds of things, all the fun things. That's what I end up doing. So that's who I am. Now, today's topic, I was trying to figure out what would be a lot of fun. I'm in the mood to have a little bit of fun. I had a lot of fun at the conference. I had a lot of fun with my friends and family. I've really been in a place of joy and fun and community and communication. And I really would like to keep the spirit of that going. So I was asking my team during my meditation this morning and even checking in a little bit last week, but it was too busy to really do it. But even checking in, and last week I heard that we just wanted to keep the fun going. So when I checked in this morning, what really came to me was sushi. And so that's why I wanted to do this. Now, this is an actual technique from positive psychology. So just so you know, I didn't make this up. It isn't just a metaphor. It's just a metaphor that I personally resonate with. And so I'm going to give you the sushi technique of positive psychology. Okay, that's what it is. Now, the purpose of this technique is to get better awareness of our thoughts. So we can be more aware of our thoughts and be mindful in the moment of our choices. That's the purpose of this technique. Okay. Now, you have heard me say a million times, and you will hear me say it a million more times, that we are sacred creators of our own lives. Every single one of us is a creative creator of our own lives. We create what's important to us. Remember, energy flows where focus goes. Now, I've talked a lot about the unconscious mind and the conscious mind. And one of the things that happens as human beings, we believe that our conscious mind, our thinking mind, where our ego is, our personality is, all of those things, we think that this mind is running the show. And it's because it's in our awareness, it's in our conscious awareness. The reality is, most of what's going on is in our unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind runs our nervous system. It regulates our breathing, our heartbeat, all of those things. It regulates it runs our past. It stores our memories. It's our programming from childhood, how we were raised, the values that are important to us, the limiting beliefs we have. All of those things are in our unconscious mind, in addition to the culture that we have grown up in. All of that is in our unconscious mind, and all of that is running in the background, okay? It's like our bodies are the mainframe, and our unconscious mind is the operational software that is running in the background, And a lot of personal growth and development is that we need to be consciously and continuously upgrading our program, because old programming can get stuck, can cause glitches, and we need to move into new programming. Okay. So back to sushi. If you guys know me, you know that there are three things in my life I love, right? I love chocolate. I love coffee, and I love sushi. Those are my favorite things. And so when I discovered the sushi metaphor, I just was like, cool, I got it. Okay, so here it is. And if you don't love sushi, it's fine. You can take the same analogy, just switch out the food for whatever's more comfortable for you, okay? So I don't know how many of you have ever been to one of these revolving sushi bars. First one I ever went to, I called it the sushi boathouse, because they would put the sushi plates that the sushi chef would make, the rolls and everything, and put it on the little plate. And the little plate had a sail on it. And then they put it on the conveyor belt. And then the conveyor belt would come around, and we would be able to pick whatever we wanted to eat. So what I'm talking about is those conveyor belts with those revolving sushi on them. So what I want you to do is I want you to just picture yourself, imagine yourself right now in a revolving sushi bar. You're going in there, you're going with a really good friend, maybe you're going with me, and this person loves sushi. And we take you to this place, and I am just like, you have got to try this sushi bar. It is amazing. The food is fresh, the flavors are incredible. Come in. And then you may say to me, well, I don't know if I like sushi, maybe a little bit of salmon, but I don't know. I'm really not a fish eater. And, but I'll try it because your passion is so excited. You are so excited and I want to have fun with you. So I'm going to go to the sushi bar with you, right? So I walk in and I also say, you know what? No problem. I'm going to buy. So what I want you to do, friend, is I want you to just explore. I want you to just pick up whatever looks good to you, take a bite of it. And if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. Don't worry about it. I want you to have the experience of having sushi because this is about learning what are your preferences. Do you prefer sushi? Do you not prefer sushi? Do you like salmon? Do you like tuna? What do you like? So imagine that we're hanging out and we're going in, we're having sushi, and I've got my chopsticks, and you've got my chopsticks, and I got my soy sauce and my wasabi and my ginger, and I'm all excited, and I have this, and this rotating sushi's coming by. The sushi chef is back in the corner. You can see him. He's in there just chopping, making, creating, doing what he wants to do. It doesn't matter because he is in the process of putting it out for production. We are sitting there waiting, okay? So what happens is the conveyor belt just goes in front of you, and these plates and these dishes are coming in front of you. And you just look at it and you think, oh, that one looks good. Jen says, I need to try it. Let me try that one. So you take it, you pull it off of the conveyor belt, you put it down, you get your chopsticks out, and you take a bite, right? And you're just like, oh my gosh, that's delicious. I love that one. Well, the unconscious mind registers preference, likes tuna, right? Likes the sushi. Going to file it in the like category. I'm going to file this in the like category. So in the future, when we have to make a food choice, we know that we like tuna rolls. Okay. So we eat that one. So then another one comes by and salmon comes by. And you're just like, well, you know what? I like cooked salmon, but I don't necessarily like raw salmon. Now, remember, you're you and I'm me. And I'm like, go for it. Try it. Do the salmon. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay. So you pick it up and you get the salmon and you take a bite and you're like, okay, well, I like the rice. I don't know about raw salmon. I'm not so thrilled with raw salmon, but I love cooked salmon. Okay. So the unconscious mind takes that, puts it in there and says, raw salmon, potential dislike. You know what I mean? Maybe neutral on it, but potential dislike, but not a strong dislike. So prefer prefer tuna over salmon. Okay. Now the conveyor belt comes in again, and oh my gosh, I start getting so super excited because I'm just like, yay! And I can't wait for the conveyor belt to get to me because it's a dragon roll, right? And I love dragon rolls. Well, guess what dragon roll is? It is cooked eel, okay? Now, when my sister first took me to sushi, when I was like, I don't like sushi, and I was 20 years old, she said, you have to try the dragon roll. And I was like, okay, that sounds fun. I like dragons, And then she told me that it was cooked eel. And in my mind, I had this picture of this slimy brown thing that slid on the bottom of the sea. And I was just like, ugh, I don't want to eat anything brown and slimy. So my preferences, my unconscious mind has a picture of that and says, oh, not good. We're going to stick that in the dislike category and potentially in the really dislike category. Okay. The gag category. So I say to you, it's not raw eel, it's cooked eel, and it's delicious. Just give it a try, right? So let's say you're sitting there, you're looking at me and you're like, I don't know, but you just know how excited I am and you want to have the experience with me because as some of my friends know, I can be very persuasive, right? So you pull the cooked eel out of the sushi and you take a bite of it and you see that on the top of the roll, it doesn't look like eel. It just looks like a little bit of brown, little bit of meat with this, fish with this lovely, delicious sauce on it. And so you're like, okay, that could be potential. Okay. So let's say you go to take a bite of it. Now, if your internal representation, that picture in your mind is still slimy brown eel, you may not be able to get over that picture of that instant dislike, right? That I do not like it, I do not prefer it. And your mind may override your taste buds and you may not be open to experience it because you have such a strong internal representation and such a strong picture of it. So, or maybe that you have that strong picture, but you're able to just kind of go with the flow, trust what I say, and just be like, okay, one bite's not going to kill me, right? That's really what that is. So that's really up to you. So let's say you take the eel, you have that really strong picture in your head, you go to take a bite, and all you see is slimy brown fish, and you can't do it. That's fine. Your unconscious mind takes it and it registers as slimy brown thing and it puts it into the dislike category. Or maybe you're okay. And because when you, even though you have that internal representation, this is what happened to me, even though you have that internal representation of a slimy eel in your head, when you look at the sushi roll itself, the dragon roll, it doesn't look like a slimy brown thing. It looks like a delicious piece of fish with some sauce on it. And you can get over it because you can literally change out one image for another image. You can get a different internal representation. So that different internal representation, you take a bite and you're like, that is delicious. And then eel becomes one of your favorite things. Your favorite things is sushi, and your unconscious mind stores it in really like in preference. Okay, great. So now that we have the sushi metaphor, what I really want you to do is I want you to look at sushi. I want you to look at your life and take this metaphor of sushi and take it to your daily life and the things that are happening to you. Okay? Remember, we are always creating. We are always creating our reality. What is out there is an image of what is going on in here. It is a combination of our higher self, our unconscious mind, our conscious mind, all coming together, our background, our, the way we were raised, who we hang around with, the culture that we in, the habits that we created, the life that we have created for ourselves. All of that creates our reality. And so the experiences that happen to us every day when we get up is very much like a sushi bar. It's a revolving conveyor belt at our life. Opportunities are coming at us. Challenges are coming at us. New people are coming at us. New beginnings are happening. Completions are happening. Transformation is happening. The amount of decisions that we need to make every single day in our life to create our reality is massive. It is amazing how much information we have coming in and how many instant decisions we make based on what is stored in our unconscious mind and what we already know from life as preferences, likes, dislikes. Okay. Again, with all that background, our baggage, our beauty, the things that make us who we are, our personality, our ego, all of that comes into play. So really, if we can start looking at what happens in our daily life as a revolving sushi bar, and that we have a choice, right? We have a choice of what we get to pick. We have a choice of what we get to eat, what we get to put in our mouths, what we get to say no thank you to. Like, we always have choice. We have a choice of our food. We actually have a choice of our people. If somebody has massive drama in their lives and they come in, we have a choice to engage with it or send them back on the conveyor belt and let them go their way. Okay. We have a choice of being loving and kind to ourselves, or we have a choice of going into a negative loop, going into our emotional baggage, going into our stuff, and then being in our stuff. It's a choice. Now, when that happens, the negative emotions, the negative stuff, it doesn't feel like a choice. It really doesn't. It feels like we are on a freight train, like that conveyor belt just hit 1,000 and we're sitting in the middle of it and it's too fast for us to be able to jump off, right? And the reality is we do have a choice. We just have to work through it. We have to get through and work through it. And then we also just have to keep living and learn who we are and learn what are our preferences, what are our likes, what are our dislikes. And then here's another really key to this. Don't judge the other person. Don't judge me if I like eel, right? I like eel. I love eel. That's my model of the world. That is what I enjoy. That makes me happy. Eel makes me tingle, right? I love eel. Now, eel to you may have an internal representation that literally makes you want to grab an air sickness bag, right? But I'm not going to judge you for disliking eel. So, you're allowed to have your preferences. You're allowed to have your choices. You're allowed to have your life. And I really think that if we can take this positive psychology sushi metaphor and we can keep it in the back of our mind, in our unconscious, right? Keep it in there, that when things are revolving around us, we're able to be a little bit more detached from what's going on. We're able to bring it to our awareness easier, and we're able to look at it and be a little bit more detached. So therefore, we can ask questions that tell us, are we making the right choices in the moment for us? Okay. So that's the sushi model. That's the sushi tool. Now, I want to take it a little bit further because I always do this with you guys. I believe in your big, beautiful brains, and I believe in your willingness to learn and what you want to do in your life and how you want to be. So I always like to give you the little bit of the level up if you can. This is when mastery, let me give you the next level. Okay. This is mastery. Mastery in this, okay, awareness is fundamental key in consciousness for higher consciousness and able to do personal growth and development in order to up level and grow and change, right? Awareness is key. And then making good decisions and good choices is key. Now, the next stage of higher consciousness mastery is when you can actually detach from sitting in front of the sushi bar, being in the movie, being in the story, to detach yourself from it. So you are looking down at it and into it. So that way you're not so connected to it. You're not so in it, right? You're able to give yourself a little bit of a higher perspective. So in the sushi model, when you can actually move from being the participant, the person who's choosing and eating the food, to move over to being the sushi chef, where you are creating the dishes, right? You are just creating the experiences, and you have awareness and knowledge. Okay, I'm creating eel, I'm creating salmon, I'm creating tuna, right? Well, that also may be, I'm creating an experience to have extreme love. Okay, I'm creating an experience where I'm going to give myself a little bit of challenge so I can have some resilience, right? So I can overcome, right? That would be the person who said yuck and yum, right? Yuck, right? So we're the chef, we're creating yum. We're the chef, we're creating yuck. We're the chef, we're creating meh, right? Meh, it doesn't matter. You have to have new experiences in order to know what are your preferences. And when you can move to the chef position, where you are in that other position in higher consciousness community, it's called being the sacred observer. And when you can get to that point in your life, you start getting to mastery over your emotions. You start getting to mastery over your baggage, and you are able to find peace, calm, grounded, and centered no matter what is going on in the world, because you know that whatever you are witnessing out there is a reflection of what is going on inside of you. Now, there are things you can control and there are things you can't control. There are a lot of things in the collective consciousness that we cannot control, because there are billions of people on this earth making decisions that are creating the energy, the flow, the movement of the world, right? We can't necessarily control billions of people. We can control the dishes that we can create. We can control whether we want to make a ahi poke bowl that day, or we can control whether we want to eat just sashimi, or we can control whether we want to make a dragon roll. That's what we can control. And so metaphorically, be aware of multi-levels of existence, multi-levels of purpose, multi-levels of living, of baggage, of joy, of that human experience, and understand that you are both the chef, right? You are both the chef, and you are the person who is eating the food and experiencing the amazing and sometimes dreadful creations that the chef created for you. Okay. Oh, that was fun. I just got every tingle in my body. And actually, I'm really, really hungry and I want a California roll right now. And I don't live anywhere. Well, I could go to Payson and get a California roll. So, and I did have sushi this weekend. So that was really fun. You guys, thank you for letting me share that positive psychology tool with you. I hope that, I hope that you may use it. And if you don't use it, it's okay. It's just information. It's just awareness. Take what resonates with you, as always on a Magic Mondays. Take what resonates with you, leave the rest behind, and thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up to be with me on these Mondays for this Love and Learn topic.